So yesterday I made one build for the mage, for the Dusk Mage, and today I'll make two more builds for the Dusk Mage and one or two builds for the Railmaster. So just give me a moment and I'll start. I've got my skills already out. Just gonna enable some text files. What we'll do is I'll take the old build and I'll just modify the build from yesterday to match the changes that we're making to the new build. First of all, let's do a beam build, a build with Holy Fury. So our Holy Fury build would use similar skills to what we're using now on this build, but with few changes. So let's see what skills are we gonna use. For sure we're using Dark Spears, we're using Luminous Run, we're using Holy Fury, we're using Consecration. So now we just need to find out what the other few skills would be for this build to make it stand out, to be worth using. Just a moment, let me quickly configure something. Maybe the build could use look something like that. Yeah, maybe something like this would be okay for the build. In the meantime, let me quickly check the passives. So is Holy Bolt may not be needed, but let's see. Dark skill damage would help. It's not necessary, so this is a maybe on the Holy Bolt. We have 12 levels in Holy. Luminous Run 12 levels. Radiant Blast, this could be in the... It actually is a must-have for the build, regardless whether we're using it for passive only support for the Dark Spirit duration, or we actually using it to knock back enemies and stuff. This will have 12 levels on it. So let's see, Dark Spears. Let's quickly calculate Dark Spears. I think 8.5 skills ended up as like 102%. Okay, time for some calculation. So I did some change. Now we need to remove probably Spirit Well and add Radiant Blast from the passives only skills. In the meantime, do we need Unholy Bolt? Yes, we need it. White skill damage. Then Dark skills damage from Holy Bolt. Yes, that's needed as well. It's not a must-have. We could get rid of Holy Bolt to reduce it to level 4, because our main damage will not be from Dark skill. Absolver is good to be at level 12 to have that 70.56% Dark Bar charge. So Dark Skill buff duration. I don't think we really needed that much here for this build. We could sacrifice those 4 points from Spirit Well for Radiant Blast. And since we want this to be at 12 levels, we need to find some skill to remove 8 points from. And I believe the best place to do that would be Holy Bow. And here we're seeing something amazing. I didn't notice that when I was looking at the tooltips, but Radiant Blast at level 12 gives 500.4% Radiant Blast damage. Later on when I calculate the total damage, this would turn out to be an amazing number. So maybe this skill could even be used in one of our mouse button slots. Maybe we could do Energy Spike in left mouse button and Radiant Blast in number. So let me quickly change this. Unfortunately, I can't put Radiant Blast because I don't have it yet. I can't put it on my number or my number 4. But let's say this will be like that, and Radiant Blast would be on number 4. Number 2, number 3, number 1, the Dark Spears. So if you're seeing this now, Radiant Blast, 500.4% Radiant Blast damage, and in addition to that we have 25.2% Dark Spear duration. Now I'll calculate something. First of all, I need to remove some percentages from the Holy Bolt bone. So here we see something nice. Shall we add up all the damages? All the damages and all the durations. Let's start off by calculating the actual duration for Dark Spears. We have 102% from the skill itself, and what else gives us some duration? Radiant Blast gives us 25.2, so that's 127.2% additional duration. I'm not seeing anything else that gives duration to Dark Spears or any other dark skills. So let's calculate. Duration by default is 6 seconds. The cooldown is 4. So even like this you can spam it at level 1. But the longer the duration, the less you need to spam it, and you'll be able to spend your energy wisely that way. So now let me quickly calculate the additional duration. There we have it. Dark Spears will last for 13 seconds and 63 milliseconds. So 13 and a half seconds roughly if you want to round down, or almost 14 seconds if you want to round up, with a cooldown of 4 seconds. So during those 14 seconds you can just spend your time spamming and not worrying about it. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's possible, we can cast 2 different Dark Spears like on different spots. If it's possible to do that, to have multiple Dark Spears, that would allow us to cast 4 different Dark Spears at the same time, 4 instances of the skill. That means we can cover different areas, or we can make a line of those, so if there's a boss coming towards us, we can keep him uh, rooted in place with our Holy Fury skill. So you put one Dark Spirit, you start casting your Holy Fury. As soon as 4 seconds pass, you put another one. Then as soon as another 4 seconds pass, you put another one in front of it, and that way you can keep the boss rooted on place all the time. Or many monsters, like it doesn't have to be a boss, it can be some difficult elite or legendary monsters. So let me quickly experiment in the game, just first. So currently my Dark Spears is 3.5 second cooldown, 6 seconds duration. Can I have 2 different instances of the skill? If I can, oh yes I can, so that means with this current build we can have 3 different instances like this of this skill. This is pretty amazing, guys. This is something that I didn't even think of while I was making this build in my head few days ago. So let's keep on crunching some numbers. What else do we need to calculate now? Consecration. I mean, the only thing I changed from my other build was I changed Holy Bolt from level 12 to level 4, and I made Radiant Blast level 12, and I removed the 4 levels in Spirit Well. So we're just losing that little bit of dark skill buff duration, which is okay. We still have enough damage as is, even without this. But let's see, do we need Unholy Bolt's wide skill damage? Yes, we do. And let's calculate the damage, the total damage output of Holy Fury. Actually, I even need to calculate the mana cost. So 51% Holy Fury mana. Okay, next on the list is still Holy Fury. I just want to make sure I've calculated everything the way it should be. So let's calculate the damage of Holy Fury. What gives us damage besides Unholy Bolt, giving us this 50% wide skill damage? What else could give us some damage to Holy Fury? So I'm just noticing before Consecration was 50% bonus damage and 15% per ally in the circle, but now Consecration is base 25%, but when you max out the skill it adds another 51.6%, so that adds it up to 76.6, but if you count the 50.4% wide skill damage, that is a lot of total damage. Let me calculate it quickly. So here I have no idea how consecration works with this damage bonus. Is that 51.6% damage bonus added to the 25%, or is that 51.6% of the 25% bonus damage? So I'll calculate the first way now quickly just to check how it is with the first calculation, and then let's see with the other calculation how it would. But before that, I want to finish with the Holy Fury calculation. So there we have it, 430%, 0.9. Okay, I saved, so the update should be coming on the screen. Okay, so just calculating consecration. So here are the two cases of consecration. The first case would be a total of 50.5% bonus damage in the tooltip, because we have 51.6% consecration damage bonus, and then we have another 50.4% wide skill damage bonus, which is exactly 102%. That means 25.5% bonus damage if the base is 25. If that's how it's calculated, if it calculates the base, if it's additive to the 25% bonus damage, then we just simply do the if it's additive, it's 127% bonus damage. But I'm assuming it will not be additive. I'm assuming it will be 50.5% bonus damage into 2-tip of consecration, which is kind of like it is now with an extra 0.5%. So it's balanced, it's not making the skill overpowered. Of course you can get another 15% per hour in the circle, which means you can get up to 45% more. So you can get it all the way to 95.5% if you have 3 of your allies standing in your circle for bonus. So I think this build is ready. I mean, I know it is ready. I just wonder what calculations more would be needed. If anyone wants me to calculate something for this, just let me know. I'll just check quickly what might be nice to calculate just to know the total. Oh yeah, the radiant blast damage. So Radiant Blast has 26.1 weapon damage by default, and if we add the 500.4% damage and the additional 50.4 white skill damage to that on a base of 26.1, let's see what will show up. So 26.1 times, let's see how many percent do we have here. 550.8%. There we have it. The total weapon damage Radiant Blast would be doing is 143%.75. So let's say 144% weapon damage, roughly. This is pretty amazing for a skill that is kinda crowd control, last resort skill when some enemies get near you. Anything else that we may need to calculate? Let's see. I think that pretty much sums up this build, and we can move on to a build that uses Spirit well. I really want to see, as I've said it on my streams before, I really would like to see a black hole or dark hole or vacuum type of skill to go along with dark spears. Then you cast a black hole on the enemies to put them into the dark spears, and then you cast some either for this skill, for this build, some Radiant, some Holy Fury, or for some other build with the portal, you just put some portal enemies around the vacuum. So that's one version. One version is this one with the Holy Fury, just beaming them inside the dark spears while vacuuming them in them. The other one is just vacuuming them inside the dark spears and then spamming some portal enemies, portal not enemies but creatures. So I'll save this Dusk Mage Beamer, Dusk Mage Beam Melter build the way it is like that, and let's move on to our next build for. So the build we will be showing now would be called Riftmancer or Nethermancer, because it's the only thing we can summon is those Netherlings. I'm just gonna change all the skills here. So where should we put our Spirit Well? I'm assuming it's gonna be good to put it in instead of Energy Spike, maybe? Actually, we don't need Holy Fury on the right mouse button, so let's put the Spirit there. So here is something I'm really wondering whether if it works that way, whether the netherlings that come from our Spirit Well are affected by consecration. If they are affected by consecration, that means they would be better off spawned inside the consecration circle, which would mean we would need to get close and personal, and that's why Radiant Blast would be helpful if you want to go for a more damage oriented build for those. But if you Radiant Blast monsters, they would get knocked back outside of the Dark Spears, outside of the consecration. So maybe it would be best to just jump in, drop consecration, and jump out and leave the Spirit Netherlings to just do their job. Or cast the Spirit Netherlings, jump where they are, cast consecration there while they're still spawning, and then go out. And if anything bothers you, just blast it with Radiant Blast inside the field. So if you stay close to the field and use Radiant Blast, that would mean they would get blasted inside the. So basically we're gonna be seeing something like this. And we're not gonna be using energy spike for this build. Do we need to use absorber? Let me check quick. We could actually use absorber for this build. Let me quickly remove. We do have 102% bonus damage to absorber from the 12 levels, which means that's almost 30. I think it's a bit more, a bit over 32% weapon damage over it. Let me quickly calculate. So it's 31.3% weapon damage base, but we're adding additional 102% and additional 50.4%. Okay, I've calculated. Absolver's total weapon damage will be 79%. And if you add the fact that it pierces in a straight line, 3 straight lines, that makes this skill very powerful. And it might go well with this. So I would suggest where we had energy spike, we can place Absolver. Also, what we'll be doing here, since our main damage will be Spirit Well, we need to tone down, we need to upgrade Holy Bow to level 12, and we need to tone down something. Let's say tone down so we have two options. One of the options would be Absolver at level 4. The other option would be Unholy Bolt at level 4. Third option would be Energy Spike at level 4. We won't be gaining our white bar as fast, but it will still be fast enough. And there's also option for Entropy at level 4, but we need that white skills cooldown for Consecration and Luminous Run. There's an option to get Holy Fury level 4 instead of level 12. But the Dark Skills mana cost, let's see what the cost would be of Dark Spears and Spirit Well as a base. Dark Spears 5 energy base, and we have 25.2% reduction. Spirit Well 6 energy cost. Yeah, we definitely need to do something about the energy cost. So keep Holy Fury the way it is for a passive only skill. I think we really need to just sacrifice wide skill damage. I'll recalculate the Absolver damage the way it should be. So where we have basic attack here, we want Absolver. I can't get it there because I don't have it unlocked, but assume that Absolver will be there. Here we have Radiant Blast. Or instead of Absolver, we can put Entropy. So there's two options. We have both skills at level 12, Absolver and Entropy. Both are level 12 skills. So you have an option to use Entropy here, you have an option to use Absolver here. Basically just don't mind where I put which skills. Just know that the skills from 1 to 4 and left and right mouse button are the skills you want to use in the build as active skills. Anything else could be just passive skills. So we're going with a level 12 Holy Bow. And here is the thing. Ideally, you would sacrifice the wide skill damage and you would be using entropy. That way you just have more dark skills in your arsenal. But that way, if you do it that way, you won't be able to charge up the dark bar. So this is not the best option. If you do this, then you have to get you could use Radiant Blast. You could use Radiant Blast to generate the skills, but if you decide to go entropy, remove Radiant Blast and swap it out for Absolver. But if you go the entropy way, then know that you just need to reduce the unholy boat to level 4. So if you're doing entropy, replace Radiant Blast on your number 4 with maybe the best thing to put there would be Holy Fury. Or even like you have three options: Holy Fury, Holy Bolt, or Absolver. All three of those could go into the number 4. So remember this as the option 1. Option 1 would be Entropy combined with Spirit Well, Dark Spears, Consecration, Luminous Run, and a light skill of your choice just to use to build up your dark skill bar for the damage. The other option is the previous option. So this is the other option with Absorb. And if you're going the Absolver way, we have two options. One option would be keep Unholy Bolt level 12 and reduce energy spike. So this is it. This is what it would look like if you're using Absolve. This is for maximized damage output here on this build. Maximized cooldowns. And this is maximized damage not for the dark skills but for the light skills as well. The only thing we're sacrificing from the passive skills is some levels on energy spike. And let me quickly calculate. So we're downscaling from 70.56% white bar charge gain all the way down to 23.52% white bar charge gain. It's not so bad. It's something this build could live with. So there you have it, two builds for the Dusk Mage we made today, in addition to the one I made yesterday. So you have the Dusk Mage Nethermancer, which can have different versions. One version is using Absolver, and with that comes level 4 energy spikes and level 12 Unholy Bolt. If you decide to swap out the Absolver for Entropy, then you need to probably get rid of Radiant Blast, so you can add another white skill to help you build your dark buff charges. I'd suggest going either for Absolver, Holy Fury, or, well, not suggest, I mean, you have to pick one of those three, either Absolver, Holy Fury, or Holy Bolt. So if you decide to get Entropy, you have to remove Radiant Blast. You can still keep Absolver if you like Absolver, or you can replace it with another Holy skill. But then you have two options. You either get Unholy Bolt to level 4, because you'll be using the light skills just to build up some dark buff bars, or you can do as I did earlier, just energy spike at level 4. Energy spike at level 4 works in any version of this build. In addition to this, we have the previous build. I'll quickly link back to the previous build for anyone who's joined. So this is the previous build, the Dusk Mage Beamer, which consists of slowing enemies and keeping them at bay whilst you just spam damage buff on yourself and Holy Fury. If an enemy gets close, you use Radiant Blast to get it back to where it came from with a knockback and some nice damage. So that's the two mage builds for now. Let's quickly swap out to a Railmaster and do some tinkering with possible Railmaster builds for you guys. Remember, the patch is tomorrow. There's gonna be also an official stream tomorrow when they would announce some winners of the giveaway. If anyone wants to know the official giveaway link, you can give me some time and I'll post it for you. Just let me quickly change. So first of all, everyone would be interested in a train build. How a train build would fit together with the new train car. So before I do my lineage build, I'll do the Conductor of Flames build with flamethrower, shotgun, mortar, and so on. Okay, so what do we want in our train build? I really don't think I want to put the shield car, but it can be used as a passive just so we can put it when we have some boss fights. But basically I would want to see something like build train, of course, mortar car. I would like to see do we need the dynamite? Let's get the dynamite. Let's get rid of the ghost car. I wanna empty this. Okay, I made this empty so people don't get confused. So first of all, let's have a we need build train at level 12. This is a must-have skill, so we're having this at level 12. So build train, a must-have for a train build. Flamethrower car. I really like this skill, we'll use this skill. So okay, we added flamethrower to the mix. Do we need hammer spin? Maybe we do for an escape skill. I'll leave it as is for now without adding it. I'll add the train skills first and see later on how good that would be. But yeah, you really want to be fast sometimes, so this would help you. You also get some rail hammer damage bonus, so this is for those who would be using rail hammers, a must-have skill for. So something we would take is Mortar Car. I really like this skill, it fits well with the train skill, especially with the Conductor of Flame. So let's put this as a number. So by adding Mortar Car to the list, this gives for this skill an activated burning duration of 51% extra, and it reduces the active train skill cooldowns. So all the cooldowns of our train car skills, such as the active shield, the active mortar, the active flamethrower, the active shotgun, and so on. You get the point. Shield car. I probably would like to see this as a passive skill in this build, not an active skill. Because you can't have shotgun car in this. You can either have shotgun car or this. Oh, and mortar is mutually exclusive with flamethrower. Well, that's a bummer. That's a big bummer. So which one of those two skills do we want to use more? Mortar or flamethrower? Okay, well, we're taking mortar car out of the equation, and I will make a note that you can always I'll make a note that you can always swap mortar for flamethrower, and you can always swap out shield for shotgun, because we would level all four of those cars, but some of them would be just passive skills only. So okay, let's calculate shield car level. Okay. Shotgun car level 12. So this will be an amazingly powerful skill. Not only does it have a 250% weapon damage, it also pierces enemies for the active skill. And the passives is periodically fire some slugs that periodically fire a large blast of fire that hits an area for 100 weapon damage. That's not bad at all. That's amazing. So here is something that I'm wondering. If we get the passive rail hammer increased damage from hammer spin, does this count towards weapon damage? Like, does it increase the weapon damage base, or is it added uh, additively like any other damage bonus, where we have to calculate the percentage and add the result afterward? I would like to know more about that, and maybe I would ask the devs for it in a forum post or something if I can get access to the forum. For now, let's see, the next build that we would be adding would be probably Hammer Spin as a passive, or maybe why not as an active skill, Hammer Spin and Dynamite. So here you see we have 144% hammer spin speed boost duration and 100.8% rail hammer damage. I will do all the calculations of how much in seconds and percentages this adds up when I add all the skills to the build, so that I don't miss out on any passive bonuses or anything like this. So we're missing our number 4 skill, and we're also missing left mouse button and 2 more passive skills, one of which would be a level 4 skill maybe. And in order to get hammer spin, how many points do we need in the skill tree? It's the second skill, so we probably need one skill point in the previous skill. Pound would have to be level 1. Yes, Pound would have to be level 1. As for blasting charge, we are definitely maxing this out. So what we're seeing here in the tooltip for blasting charge is 101% weapon damage, but this is with the added bonuses because the skills are leveled up on the demo that I'm using as a screen capture. And I can't do the proper calculations that way unless I'm sure exactly what's in that specific build. And you see that it says it causes enemies hit to take 85.4% additional damage for 4 seconds, but that's with the included vulnerability of 102%. So that makes it I'm assuming that without the damage vulnerability of 102%, the skill's damage would be around 42-43%, roughly like that. So I can't give you an exact number, but let's say that's how it would be. 42 or 43% additional damage for 6 seconds, but with the increased damage vulnerability of 102%, it gets bumped up to 85.4% additional damage for 6 seconds. So we're keeping this skill, and let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skills at level 12. Which means we're using 72 skill points and 1 skill at level 1, so 73. So with the additional 27 points, what could we bump up? We have 12 points and 3 points, let's say. So do we want endurance recharge rate? We're only using 2 skills that use endurance. Do we need this? Maybe not. Ghost Train, do we want this? Oh yes, there's healing. There's healing, we need that even if it's just for a passive, we need this skill. So as you guys can see, the tooltip is a bit confusing. It says healing for 5 seconds after using a lineage skill, plus etc percent. But what's this percent? Is that HP healed? Or is that additional duration? And what exactly is this? There's a very confusing tooltip. So I would need some further clarification on this, but I'm assuming this is probably duration. So instead of 5 seconds, it would be 5 seconds plus the additional percentages. So it's 50.4%. So let's say another 2.5 seconds roughly added to the mix of healing. So 7.6 seconds healing over time. If this is how it works, if this is what those percentages are for. So another 12 points used, and we have out of 27, 15 points. We have the option to add a left mouse button skill. Pound is our level 1 skill. Flying picks we haven't leveled. And that's the 2 skills. So we have altogether, if I remove that 1 level on Pound, we have 16 points and 2 skills to spend it on. I'm saying max out flying picks and put the rest into Pound. So there we have it, flying picks. I need to change the numbers on Pound after I calculate this. So flying picks also gives us endurance recharge rate. Let me calculate. So this is not a percentage endurance recharge rate, it's a flat number. And at level 12 this is 0.504 endurance per second, I'm assuming. Or in addition to the current endurance recharge. I'm not sure exactly what this is, or maybe the percentage is missed, but I'm assuming this is flat. And since we roughly regain endurance, etc., endurance per second, that's adding that much to that recharge rate. And just notice that you can increase this endurance recharge rate with items. If it's percent based of the endurance, it would be interesting, but I'm assuming it's so half of an endurance charge more is added when we regain. So each time we regain 1 bullet in this revolver, like let me show it. So roughly 1 endurance per second, that means we would be gaining 1.5 per second with this increase. This is not bad at all, this is a very decent way of handling endurance regen. And we have 4 levels of pound. So here just know that you can always get rid of that endurance recharge rate if you don't think you'll be using your dynamite and hammer spin that often, and you can downgrade flying picks to level 4 and upgrade pound to level 12 for extra damage reduction in melee. But you really have to decide whether you need more damage reduction in melee or not. I'm assuming if you decide to get extra damage reduction, it's better to just put shield car instead of maybe some other car, although losing shotgun car instead of shield car doesn't seem the best. But yeah, you would need those two cars. I think flamethrower and shotgun are a good combo. But you do have all the other cars leveled up for the build passive, so you can always swap around. This class doesn't have so many skills, doesn't have as many skills as the others, so you only have one skill that's not max leveled. And that's something you can live without. And this is of course after you level 100, so while you're leveling, all those builds that I'm showing, the passives should be leveled up after the core skills. That's why I'm making a separation of the core skills and the passives, so you would know what is more important, which is the core skill for the core gameplay of the build, for the core playstyle of the build. Now, I want to make the melee build, so I'll just edit this file and I'll just downgrade one of the card skills, the card skill. So for a lineage build, the one that I usually use, let me quickly copy paste this. So all I need to decide now is which skill to remove from level 12 and downgrade it to level 4, and this is extremely easy. it's Mortar Car. Why? Because it adds an activated burning duration to Mortar Car, and it also adds active skill train cooldowns reduction. We're not using skill trains if we're using a lineage based skill. So this is the only skill that is the obvious choice to downgrade to level 4 when all the others are maxed out. So I'll quickly add the calculation. By the way, there's one more thing you can do. So Mortar Car can be level 4, but it doesn't matter whether it's Mortar Car or Shield Car that's level 4. You really don't need to level those at all when you're using AoE lineage based skill. Because the passive bonuses, I'll show them. Look at that, shield car damage when near your train, but if you're doing a lineage based skill, you're not using train at all. And the same goes for mortar, you don't have active train skill cooldown reduction need because you're not using active train skill cooldowns on a lineage based. So let me quickly update. There, now I'm showing the Railmaster AoEmaster build. After the Conductor of Flames, it's time for the AoEmaster to be seen. I just need to calculate some numbers now at the bottom for Mortar Car, since I reduced some levels on it. But it doesn't have to be Mortar Car, it can be Shield Car. I'm showing you a level 100 version, but the last skills you would need to level up would be the Shield Car and Mortar Car. So first get your core skills, which would be Blasting Charge, Pound, Hammer, Spin, Ghost Train, leveled up. You don't need Build Train, it's not in the right mouse button, it's on a passive. And I need to calculate the Build Train number. So there we have it, all the different skills and their levels for this build. So you have the core skills, and one note here for this build. If you want a perfect synergy for an AoEmaster or a so-called lineage skill tree build, I would strongly advise going for a relic skill called Swordsman, which can be achieved by crafting a Flaming Destroyer sword relic weapon. This is the Flaming Destroyer I'm talking about. From all the three different weapons, I believe this would fit the best with such a build, because you can use this just a sec. You can use this skill to help you while you're recovering endurance, or while your other skills cannot be used due to endurance or charges depletion. So it's a nice synergy with such a build. It's actually my main build that I'm using on this guy, but the train build I made earlier, I only forgot to add the percentage, not the percentages, but the names of what the build card would give you as passive and synergy. So I'll quickly switch back to it and change. So this is the Railmaster AoEmaster, and let me quickly go back to the Conductor of Flame. And this is your setup for the Conductor of Flames build. I will not do any additional calculations here because I really don't know exactly how those work, and the images I'm using as sources, some of them are level 12, and this kind of messes up with the calculations since I don't know the exact base. Tomorrow I'll be able to show the exact numbers, so you wouldn't have to worry about this. And also tomorrow we'll be making some calculations for builds for Forge tomorrow, or actually why not do it now? We have some extra time. Let's try and make at least one Forged build. So let's make a spin to win build for the Brawler 3 for the fourth. The brawler class would basically be stuff like Rapid Strike, Cyclone Mode, Servo Driven Uppercut, Ramming Robot. So we have 4 skills that would be in there, but we also implement some other ones, of course, because why not? Probably Vortex Bomb might fit well. Actually, not probably, surely it would fit well. And see, we have actually what I was talking about the Dusk Mage earlier, how it needs a skill that pulls foes towards the center of the skill. They already have this mechanic in a skill. So if they just apply it on a skill that's in an area of effect which you place on your mouse location, the same vortex bomb mechanic, instead of pulling enemies towards you, pulling enemies towards the center of where you cast the skill, it will work perfectly well for the Dusk Mage. So okay, let's try and make that build for this class. First of all, let me open up a document for this. For now, ignore the mage skill descriptions. I'll quickly delete all those descriptions and replace them with the proper ones. Just give me a minute to do. Also remember that the important skills would be the core skills 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I put something in left, right mouse button. But those would be the skills with priority. The passive only skills would be skills that you would prioritize as you level up. Maybe you would need some of them in order to unlock other skills, but they won't be a priority until you kind of have spare skill points. So while leveling, prioritize getting to the main build skill, and that is something that's valid for every single build I made today and the one from yesterday. So far I made 3 mage builds and 2 Railmaster builds. Today I made 2 mage builds, 2 Railmaster builds. Today only, yesterday only 1 mage build. Starting off, we would need Rapid Strike. So this can either go in right mouse button or in number 1. I say let's go for spin to win right mouse button and Rapid Strike in number 1 maybe. But this is something you can always change. How you arrange your skills in the skill bar is always whatever you find more comfortable. I'm just gonna put the skills randomly. So good passives, Rapid Strike gives us a passive bonus to itself and passive bonus to any other skill in this skill tree. Perfect start of the set. Servo-driven uppercut, we would eventually need. So Vortex Bomb, we need that to pull enemies so we can spin to win and keep pulling them. So as you can see, this is an extremely powerful skill. Although the numbers we see here, I will not make calculations because this build that the screenshots were taken from had some skill points invested in it, so it messed with the base values that I'm seeing in the tooltips. So this 625.2% and 1875.6 weapon damage percent. This is affected by rapid strike and things like that. So I cannot know the exact value, so I'll just leave the numbers here the way they are, and I wouldn't do additional calculations as I did for the mage. Shotgun Blast will be a passive skill. I'll add it here somewhere later. Servo-driven uppercut. Well, there we go. We have some melee skill crit chance, and this is dominantly melee based build. So we would need this. I'll add this somewhere, maybe number 3 or 4. It's at. So there we have servo-driven uppercut already added to the build. Ramming robot, this is your movement skill. This is very useful. Now actually, if I were to play it, I'm used to putting my movement skills, such as Luminous Run and Hammer Spin in number 3. So let's put Servo Driven in number 4 and swap it out with Ramming robot. This is just something I do for myself. So ramming robot, perfect movement speed. Well, not movement speed, but movement skill. And now let's calculate those percentages. Okay, ramming robot is already in the mix. And now our right mouse button would be our spin to win. And this is Cyclone mode. So now we have the core skills laid out. And I need to add passive, starting with the shotgun blast passive for heat dissipation, because this build really needs heat dissipation. Of course it has vortex bomb to help with venting, and we need one more extra venting skill. More venting skills are really needed for a spin to win build, so you can just keep spinning, venting, and so. Coal launch is a perfect skill for venting, and it doesn't require much investment from what I can see. I think it requires, it's tier 2, so probably requires 5 points or something like that. It doesn't say exactly. So we get a total of 5.808 heat dissipation and 71.4% shotgun blast damage. If you somehow decide to use shotgun blast in your skill, you can use it in a left mouse button or something like that. Although I'd strongly suggest using in the left mouse button maybe something like servo driven uppercut or rapid strike. So should we get Cold Launch in number 1? I put Rapid Strike in the left mouse button, so maybe we need to put Cold Launch in number 1. What else do we have for heat dissipation? Let me quickly check. We have Vortex Bomb, we have Cold Launch, for venting. No dissipation, my bad. So venting, we have 2 skills to vent heat, I think. We don't have any others to vent heat. Vents O heat, vents 100 heat, spends O heat. Just checking something here.
Time to vent.
Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be the 2 skills that we need for vent. So Cold Launch not only increases its damage, but it also gives us a heat spending skill damage. So it increases the damage of Cold Launch and servo driven, no, Cold Launch and what was the name? A Vortex Bomb. So those 2 skills would benefit from additional 50.4% damage when maxing out Cold Launch. Okay, what's left now? It's left to keep adding some passives. We need some range skills, so we probably should add some of those. And of course, at any point, people could swap around the range skills for the non-ranged if they need to, because you have 100 points and that's more than enough to max out almost every skill. But the passives with less priority. While you're leveling, focus on the other skills, don't worry about the passives so much. Just get the passive you want or the passives you think you need for the build, especially the ones you really need to unlock some further ones. So Poison Dart, we really don't want to get this right away, although it really would help pet skill and attack damage. Rapid fire is your starting skill for this tree. This tree starts with this skill, so you would have to have it, I think, at level 1 at least, in order to unlock Coal Lounge. So either level 1 or level 5, I'm not sure exactly what the requirement would be for Coal 1. For Shotgun Blast, we also would need to have some skills put into Rapid Fire, so probably at least 1 level in Rapid. I'm not sure whether we need Swag Shot, but why not? For the Coal Launch area duration, let's get Swag Shot, so it could benefit well from this. So yeah, Swag Shot would give us extra area duration for Coal Launch. So we can keep spinning to win. We spam Coal Launch, we keep spinning inside the coal area while we're doing the bosses. If we can just spin around the boss, you still be hitting the boss, but rotating so it doesn't face you all the time. And you spam your coal launch and you spam your vortex bomb to keep dissipating heat. We need those two dissipations, but if you think you can manage without two heat dissipations, you can decide which one to get rid of and demote it to a passive only skill. So okay, Spook Shot is maxed out. What else are we maxing? We probably need to add 5 points in rapid fire in order to unlock Coal Launch, or maybe we just need 1 point. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but both Coal Launch and Shotgun Blast, which we're using, either for skill activeness or for passive skill only, both of those are actually needed for the build in one way or the other. And rapid fire is needed for them, so probably 1 to 5 points in rapid fire. We'll see whether we want to put into. For now, let's do 12 points rapid. It will give extra damage to our barrage skills which we are using, such as the coal launch and the shotgun blast and so on. I mean, the shotgun blast we might keep swapping around in our active skills for in exchange for something else. So it can be promoted to active skill from passive. So how many skills is this so far? 4 skills, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means we need to demote one skill to level 4. Most likely that's what's going. Yeah, 9 skills at level 12, one will be demoted to level 4. Or what I'll do is I'll do Swookshot level 10. So maybe Swookshot level 10 and Rapid Fire 6. Or actually, let's do Rapid Fire 12, Swookshot level 4. I think this is pretty much it. There are a few skills we didn't invest any points in, such as the poison. This will be really powerful later on when the pets get more skills and stuff like that. Or if you think you can get your pet to attack more often with the addition of this pet attack, directional attack button. So we're only missing one skill in the build. From all the skills we could get, we have skill points in everyone but Poison Dart, and that's okay. And I'll try to make a more ranged oriented build with the patch hitting us as I go on and as I level up. On this guy, I'll be playing it more now this week. After the patch hits us, I'll be leveling this character a lot. So expect to see some things, some changes. I'll be streaming more often because the past few days I haven't been streaming much this game. I've been playing other games off screen, off stream. It's exactly midnight, 1 past midnight now. I think I created enough builds, 5 builds for 2 hours and 20 minutes stream. If anyone wants those documents, I can create an archive and upload them. Let me quickly do that now and I'll paste the link in my stream. For anyone who wants to get the text files with the build. Okay, I'll make a document with all the builds and I'll copy paste the link. Just give me a minute, I'll copy pasting it in a Google document so it's easily shared. Okay, I've made the document, I'll now paste it. So it's just copy pasting all my build calculations and the build basics of core skills and so on. And putting it in. Once I want to do the formatting now, I'll do the formatting after the stream, but the document would be available and published. Okay, there you have it, guys. I posted links to the document. So there you have it. This is my document with the builds. Enough for today's stream. I would like to thank everyone for watching and everyone who is following me, all my subscribers, donations, etc. Thank you for making this what it is, and see you tomorrow, guys, with some gameplay streaming and hype streaming about the new update. Keep it cool, guys, and goodbye for now from